Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video on Amazon's New World. So it has finally happened, and we actually now finally have a release date. So it is August the 31st, 2021. That is when the full game is going to be releasing. But we have also got a date for the start of the closed beta, which is actually going to be the 20th of July this year. So the closed beta will be accessible by basically everyone who has got a pre-order pack. So if you don't manage to get yourself into the alpha testing, which is sort of currently ongoing I believe, this is going to be the first chance you're going to have to actually get to play. They have also announced quite a few new features that are being introduced into the game this month with the latest patch. There's going to be a new endgame region of Ebon Scale Reach, which actually really looks quite awesome. Much more prefer the art style of that to Reekwater. Plus, we finally have dungeons being introduced in these new 5-player instanced group adventures called Expeditions. But we'll kind of cover both of these later on in the video. Because first, I just want to quickly talk about the fact that the release date is obviously not the spring 2021 like we were expecting it was going to be. You know, and certainly some people are going to be pretty upset the game has been pushed back again, because this is not the first delay, and you know, it does feel like we've been waiting for New World for an awfully long time. And I'm sure some players are going to feel like it's never going to release and, you know, why did I bother pre-ordering and so on, and I can completely understand this. But given that they are now listening to the feedback that we as the player base all gave in the preview event, you know, the game is really lacking a lot of that end game content. I think the delay is ultimately the right move for them to make, and actually probably a good sign that they care more about getting the game right rather than just rushing it to release so they can cash out. The fact they are putting so much effort into the end game side of things, you know, with these new high level regions, instance fights with, you know, the expeditions and the outpost rush mode are all positive changes. Although this time they really do need to make it to that August 31st release date. But as well as the release date, we also got a bit more of an insight into what the New World team have been working on, and almost all of it is going to be focusing on the end game content side of things, which I think is absolutely a positive thing that they're doing. They seem to have really taken this as a piece of feedback on board and are now really sort of pumping and focusing their efforts into this sort of end game content, which is what exactly we need. And it's kind of what I mentioned a little bit about the start of the video. So expeditions are going to be one thing that they're going to be adding in, and these are going to be 5-player instanced PvE events that will sort of act like dungeons. I can't say I'm particularly surprised they've added these into the game, but I'm really glad they have. You know, small group coordinated dungeon raids have proven to be sort of really effective and fun events in this genre time over, and I think there'll be a really positive change to New World as well. They also state that a lot more of the lore is going to be present in these expeditions, you know, with more details about where the corruption came from and kind of the motive behind the Angry Earth. So it's going to be kind of interesting and exciting to learn a little bit more about the lore behind New World. We have also learnt about the introduction of the Outpost Rush Battleground mode. So this is going to be like a 20v20 player team battle event in which players are going to sort of be fighting over ancient technologies and hidden sources of Azoth, and you're going to have to sort of fight to control strongholds and strategic resource locations. The game really needed more PvP events and features, you know, particularly after some of the changes, particularly around the, you know, the toggle system, that the changes happened to the game kind of earlier on its development. I think that it's a really good thing that it's starting to introduce more PvP events, and I'm pleased to see, you know, another PvP mode introduced outside of the Territory War events that are going to be sort of dominating the more open world map. And finally, we got a new region that has been announced, Ebon Scale Reach. I absolutely love the look of this place. I like the architecture, I like the fact it's sort of bright and inviting. I mean, I did the New World special preview event for Reekwater a few months ago, and whilst it was amazing the amounts of time and effort and work they'd put into developing that region, and you know, it was really well done, for me, dark and dingy swaps are just not my thing. This new region is absolutely where I want to be. So where does this kind of leave us all? I think in general it's kind of a positive place. Yes, it's pretty disappointing that the full game isn't going to be coming out until August. You know, we all want to play it, myself included, and the fact it's still like 6 months away kinda sucks. However, I still think it's the right move, and more than that, I feel like New World are now actually kind of listening to our feedback. You know, I think at the start when the game first switched from the sort of sandbox survival to this sort of much more classic MMO, we kind of described it in what we are now, it felt like the player base's concerns were sort of largely being ignored. You know, a lot of our concerns around endgame content, there not being much quests, there being no sort of instance dungeons, you know, these are things that are now actually being addressed. Because before, you could just get yourself max level pretty quickly and have very little else left to do. And the fact that now focusing on this, and the fact that the developers at New World are prepared to listen to our feedback, take it on board and action it, it's a good sign in my opinion kind of for the future relationship between the player base and New World as the game moves forwards past release. But I don't want to drag this video out any longer than it needs to be, so I shall leave it at that. Do let me know what you think about the delay in the comments down below. You know, are you kind of really disappointed with the delay? Well, of course we're all disappointed, but do you kind of understand the delay? Or kind of are you really fed up? Have there been too many delays and this is kind of the final straw? So yeah, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for a lot more New World content. Thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you all on the next video.